while we were waiting for a new episode of Skibidi Toilet, so I decided to analyze the Skibidi Multiverse again. And today we will analyze episodes 4 and 5 of this amazing universe. So be sure to watch the video to the end so as not to miss anything. And I also want to ask you to subscribe to my channel for those who have not yet subscribed, since 80% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel. And I would really like to dial 500,000 subscribers for the new year. And it's not difficult for you to subscribe, but it's very nice for me. Hello friends, you're on the channel. Subscribe to the channel and press the like button under the video to speed up the release of the next video. And let's go. The episode begins in the same place as it did in episode 3. And then we see a TV man who is also in episode 3. But then he was with a TV woman, but now she has disappeared somewhere. But I hope that we will see her soon. We also see that TV man has a protective clock, and the abilities of the clockman will not affect him. We also see Clock Boss, who looks at the clock very carefully. And we see a big explosion. And we see that this is a Skibidi scientist who is also in episode 3. But now he doesn't look much different. Perhaps the author decided to change the model. Anyway, we see our powerful clock Titan, but suddenly he is attacked in the back by the local Gmail toilet. And we see that these are the same paralyzing rays that were in episode 1. But for Clock Titan, this is not noticeable. The Clock Titan also has some kind of plate on the back. Maybe it's just a design, but since I haven't watched the new episodes, maybe this is a necessary thing. So if you know what it is, write in the comments. Then we see how the Titan stops time around the Gmail toilet. And he tried to do something with him, and I would say that he wanted to take control of him like that mutant from episode 3. But in fact, this is not so. Because then he shot him with a red projectile and then start casting spells and taking control of the enemy. But now he shot a yellow projectile, which means that this is not under control. But perhaps this is the author's mistake. Anyway, let's say that this is a mistake and he wants to take control of Gmail. But we see that Gmail is very strong and can resist, and the Titan has to come very close in order to take control of him. But he was prevented by the Skibidi scientist. And we see a flying shuriken that flies towards the scientist's head. But suddenly, an astro toilet appeared and protected the scientist. But still, the Titan still has the good old right hook. And he hasn't forgotten about Gmail, who also gets his share. And by the way, the plate on the Titan pin turned red, although here it was different. And we also see that what comes from the Titan core is steam, although it didn't exist before. And there are two options. Perhaps steam comes from the fact that the Titan spent too much energy, or because he wants to use some kind of strong ability. And we see that he wants to use some kind of powerful ability. But Clock Boss gives him a signal that he shouldn't do this. And the Titan confirms the signal with a nod of his head, and again decides to treat the scientist with his hook. I immediately noticed that the Titan began to accelerate, and then he continued to use some new and powerful abilities. First, he stopped time near the enemies, then he released a discharge and all the enemies disappeared somewhere. But in the next frame, we see how the helicopter flies back from where it came, and the Titan itself also disappears. And this means that he turned back time, precisely for these mutants at whom he shot, and also for himself, since he also disappeared somewhere. We also see interesting mutants who are the same as the version of the scientist in episode 3, and also the Titan cameraman with a green light, which means that he is infected and is a strong fighter on the side of the mutants. Anyway, then we see a new type of mutant, and this is a Skibidi magnet, and he has an unusually red toilet, and this is the first we see. It's not clear to me what abilities this mutant has, but soon we will find out everything. And then the scientist attacks the POV cameraman. And this is where the episode ends, and now we will move on to the analysis of episode 5. And at the end of the video, I shared my thoughts on 2 episodes. So watch the video to the end so as not to miss anything. And let's go. Episode 5 starts with a simple toilet flush. And just look at this button. After it was pulled out, there wasn't even a trace left. Very strange. Anyway, we see an explosion and a flying toilet, and here we hear a funny sound. And by the way, I noticed an interesting detail in this moment, namely, Raccoon Police. And the same department was in the game Resident Evil, and this is quite an interesting reference. But it's too early to build theories. First, I need to look at all the episodes, and in future analyses, we will definitely find out what's going on here. Then we see a large clockman and a large speakerman. And we see a small gang of local gangsters who want to squeeze an expensive watch from the clockman. And the clockman points to his watch and wants to stop time. But it turns out that he didn't eat in the morning, and he doesn't have energy to use his abilities. And suddenly, the leader of this gang appeared, Skibidi Magnet. And the speakerman starts a fight, and the POV cameraman helps him by shooting from a paralyzing gun into the toilets. And we see how the speakerman destroys the magnetic mutant in a few seconds, and you ask, What's so special about him if he didn't do anything? But I'll explain it to you now. And who didn't know that the magnetic field greatly affects the watch, because the watch itself has a magnet and is very susceptible to external sources of the magnetic field. And as a result, the watch can rush or be late, and also stop working. And guys, this is amazing how the author thought all this. It's even very informative for you and me, so like to the author. And after the magnet was destroyed, the clockman says that everything is in order. And this also confirms what I said about the magnetic field. But in fact, this is only the beginning. Clockman's head begins to spin, and it is clear that he feels severe pain. We see a huge Skibidi magnet, and he magnetizes the clockman to itself and tears it into pieces. And oh my god, I really feel sorry for this guy. I hope that they can fix him. This mutant is also quite interesting. We see how there is also a magnetic field around him, and figures fly around it. It's also covered in magnets, and there's also some kind of purple diamond-shaped figure underneath, but I don't know what it is yet. If you know, write in the comments. And we see how the POV cameraman is trying to paralyze the mutant with a gun, but doesn't succeed. And we see that the mutant already wants to kill him. But then we hear a loud bell ringing. And Clock Titan came to the rescue. And we also see that he has steam coming from his core, and we see that he is very serious. And his personal army of toilets appeared behind him. We also see that mutant from episode 3, as well as the Skibidi Strider who was in the second part of episode 57. And it's clear that the Skibidi Magnet is surprised, but perhaps he wanted to run away. But then Astro Toilets appeared, and now there will be a 3-on-3 fight. But honestly, I think that Titan is still stronger. But on the side of the magnet, there are very fast Astro Toilets that can paralyze their brothers. But at this point, the episode ends. And let's summarize what we understood today, and I'll tell you my impressions of the 2 episodes. Today we saw a new type of magnetic mutant that can resist the abilities of the Clockman. We also noticed a reference to Resident Evil, and we learned about another cool ability of a Titan. And he's just like Thanos from the Avengers. It seems that the author also likes the Marvel Universe, just like Mr. Defuk Boom. We also saw Gmail Toilet for the first time today, which was even able to resist the control of Titan, and this is already a good indicator. But what do I think about these 2 episodes? Honestly, I liked it, but I would like the author to add more secrets and details that few people can notice. I don't argue, maybe I didn't notice everything, but I don't want to talk a lot about obvious details that everyone can see. I haven't watched the new episodes yet, but I hope I will find many secrets and interesting details there. Also, write in the comments if I missed something. And if you have interesting theories, then write them as well. Also, be sure to look at my analysis of previous episodes, as there were more secrets than today, and they are also very funny. Also subscribe to my channel and also the Telegram channel, because there I communicate with subscribers and publish exclusive information about the Skibidi Toilet, as well as about my videos. And we don't say goodbye. We'll see you in my new videos, so see you.